Anderson. Today we'll have a departure from our usual issues. As we enter the new year, we're going to take a look at what the future may hold. We'll talk to psychics and a non-believer next on Common Ground. Is there a tall, dark stranger in your future? Will you find fame, fortune, and happiness in the coming year? Do you believe that the predictions of a psychic will come true? Or is it all a bunch of nonsense? Joining me to discuss or debunk psychic powers are Larry Kitch with the Midwest Committee for Rational Inquiry, psychic Linda Petrine, who is a parapsychologist and most famous for working with the police on the Jacqueline Dwaliby murder investigation, and psychic Jackie Marie, a hypnotherapist who has also worked with many police cases. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Mike Singletary. I may look tough on the field, but I'm a soft at heart. So I donated my old glasses to Lions Club International's Eyeglasses Recycling Program. Donated glasses are cleaned, repaired, and distributed to people in developing countries who need them. It's so easy to give the gift of sight. Just bring your old glasses to any LensCrafters store before New Year's Day. Your donation will help someone see clearly enough to cook, hold a job, or do schoolwork. For more information, call 1-800-522-LENS or your local Lions Club.
Come to Arsenio's to send 1991 out in style, because he's hosting a year-end blowout that starts on Monday with Lily Tomlin, Tevin Campbell, and Teresa Russell. Then later in the week, he's got Harrison Ford and Jean-Claude Van Damme, plus Paula Abdul, Ralph Tresvant, and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Oh, and Sam Kinison, Sean Young, Luke Perry, and Richard Grieco. He's sending out the old and ringing in the new, all this week on the Arsenio Hall Show.
Monday night at 11:30, only on Channel 2.
Is this woman out of her mind?
What are you here for?
On the next People's Court, she's a new bride, just home from her honeymoon.
Went to Mexico. We spent about $300 to $600 there.
Did you have fun?
Lovely time. Thank you.
The problem is she's still married to her first husband.
Alice, I can't get angry with you because you're sick.
How many times can this bride say I do before Wapner says, oh, no, you don't? Find out on the next People's Court.
Monday at 4, only on Channel 2.
Everyone gets the blues sometimes. Usually they go away after a short while, but sometimes they grow worse. Day-to-day life can feel heavy and hopeless, but you don't have to let depression ruin your life. You can get help to lift the blues. Let your doctor find out if there's a physical cause. Talk to a counselor or a therapist. Just deciding to get help can make you feel better. To learn more about dealing with depression, write the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
We're back with Common Ground. Why have a show about psychics right at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, without having predictions about what the new year holds? So first we'd like to ask Jackie, what do you predict for 1992?
Well, I think what's going to happen is that they're going to start proceedings to repeal the seatbelt law.
The seatbelt law?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Because people, once they're in an accident, they lose control of their mental faculties. You know, they're numb. And a lot of times they can't think to unbuckle that belt and help their passengers or even help themselves.
Okay, well, what are some of the other things? Are we coming out of the recession or no?
It's going to be a slow thing. But the thing that I predict, I think Pat Buchanan is going to run front and center, possibly straight to the White House.
Really? So you think he'll upset George Bush for sure?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. They're real unhappy about his economical solutions.
Okay.
It's not going to work.
Okay. Now, you have other predictions for us?
Oh, I have a lot of them, but you know, you list them all and you notarize them and you hand them to people. And I do radio across the nation, and I do a radio show that goes all across the nation, Talk America, and we do a lot of work to get people to realize, number one, 1992, if you have a job, hold on to it. You know, even if you have to pay some of your own medical expenses, hold on to your job. Jobs are fading one after the other. I always said that.
Okay, well, as Janet Truehalf, my producer, always says, I like threes. So give me a third now. Do you see aliens or something like that you want to talk about?
Aliens? Well, over Chicago, I think by August of next year, people are going to be reporting UFOs.
Over Chicago?
Over Chicago. Definitely over Chicago.
In August?
By August.
Okay, all right. Okay, now.
Hi.
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 Are you ready for my predictions?
I'm ready, and I'm sure
Okay.
everybody else
All right,
is.
right. Well, what I feel that we're going to be ahead for this year, I saw a lot about weather. We're going to have 2 earthquakes in California. We're going to have 3 airline crashes over the U.S. that'll be severe. What we're going to also be looking at is an extremely cold winter. January and February will be very icy and cold. We're in for 4 significant storms this year coming up. Summer will not be as hot as last year, but a lot of high 80s, and the 90s won't be as bad as we've had. I feel the Cubs are going to come out and win more games than the White Sox this year, but no pennants. And the Bears are going to come in strong, but I don't see them, coming to the very end.
Yeah, we can replace both our weathermen and our sportscasters with you and save ourselves a lot of money.
I feel a lot of things around political. We're going to see something in Chicago coming up around the next mayoral candidate. What's going to happen is we're going to be finding a man coming in, and I see him. I don't have a name, but I'm seeing him as a slender man, black, very tall. And he is going to become a powerhouse in Chicago in the next decade. He's really going to be very strong.
Is he going to be the next mayor? Or
next mayor. Not next mayor.
Just a powerhouse.
But he's just going to be coming out sometime around the next election or a little bit beyond, during that period of term. And he's going to be very good. I feel that the Republicans are still going to hold a strong House, though. I agree with Jack. They're going to have a strong House, which is going to fight. And eventually, after the next election, then you're going to see the Democrats really surging in strong. I do feel that we're going to have a lot of things happening. There's going to be problems brewing in the Mideast again this year. And it's going to be between 2 countries. I predicted in '89 the war in '90. Okay? And I predicted 3 powers, a country that we hadn't heard of. What we're going to see is 2 powers coming to war. But U.S. will get involved, but it will just be more or less putting their 2 cents in and giving some support.
Do you see the names of these 2 powers?
No, I feel right now, all I felt as we were talking is Mideast, and definitely stronghold. I feel that we're going to be seeing a lot with economic imbalances. The market is going to be very erratic this year, and we're going to be in for 2 major drops in the market.
Okay. Now, Larry, what do you predict about these predictions?
It's kind of hard to miss with predictions that we're going to have a cold winter and there's going to be trouble in the Middle East. And I mean, I'm not psychic. I can make those same predictions.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about your organization.
The Midwest Committee for Rational Inquiry was founded about 7 years ago. There's one international group called SciCop, which is a committee for the scientific investigation for claims of the paranormal, which is the international group that has such members as Carl Sagan, Isaac Asimov, James Randi, Philip Klass, and there's about 70 local skeptics groups worldwide that are autonomous, and that's what our group is. We're an autonomous local group.
And why did you join this group?
Because I've always been interested in the scientific method. I've always been interested in the paranormal, skepticism, and most people have become involved that do become involved because of the proliferation of belief in the paranormal that's put out mostly by the media.
Okay, now, tell me this. Do you believe in intuition at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you believe in intuition. Jackie, Linda, somebody tell me then.
What intuition actually is more than intuition, right? People don't realize that everybody has psychic ability. We're no different. It's just that our minds are a little more centered and we are able to shut them down stronger to get the bands of information in. But everybody is telepathic or clairvoyant. You take a person that thinks about a person for a couple of days, and all of a sudden the person calls them on the phone and says, you've been on my mind for a few days. I was going to call you. It's funny, you've been on my mind. Look at the people that have had dreams. Most information for the average person comes in dream state. The feelings of deja vu are actually slight areas of clairvoyance.
Okay, now, and I'm sure Larry would say that that's just something on your subconscious that happened. You had a bad day and you're feeling a little insecure, so monsters chase you at night or something, right? Larry, do you believe that, do you believe some of what she's saying there?
Well, deja vu, there's an explanation for that, too. A psychological explanation is that it's a mental aberration where you actually remember something while it's happening. That's a theory.
I have a question for Larry.
Okay.
Did you breathe air before they told you were breathing oxygen?
Yes, I believe I did.
Okay. You see, this is the type of thing. Clairvoyance or psychic ability, that's a catch-all. It simply means I know it, I feel it, it came to me. Somebody told me in a dream, somebody told me to tell you this, and it's there for you. It's not there for everybody. In other words, even astrology, I say astrology does not predict the future. Even though I do astrology, I use it just as a means of understanding the people.
I'll say that there is absolutely no scientific evidence to support that astrology has any validity whatsoever.
And science, what is science? Science is a modern thing. Science is not ancient.
Science goes back to the Egyptians.
No, it has not.
6,000
So
years
doesn't
ago.
astrology go back to the
It goes
Egyptian?
back before Egypt.
Astrology and astronomy
It goes back
were
to
the
the
same science at
Chaldeans.
one point. They diverged with Johannes Kepler about 350
They were
years
back
ago.
in Jewish with
Go
the
ahead.
Chaldeans. I mean, they believe Christ lived among the Chaldeans, and that's where he got his knowledge
And the
of healing.
Essenes.
And the Essenes. And if you go right into studying anything about the Kabbalah or Jewish sense, and where did that come out of? But Egypt. Moses
That's
brought it
right.
out of Egypt.
That's right. And the greatest parapsychological department is within the Catholic Church. And many of your other churches.
That's nonsense.
Oh, no, this is true.
I have letters from the Archdiocese
That's right, so do
recognizing
I.
Okay, well,
Chicago psychics.
Right.
Wait,
They
tell me
recognize
this,
psychics.
when you get the psychic feeling or whatever it is, I mean, how do you make the reading? I mean, what happens
don't
inside
read
of
it.
you? It just comes to you, or what? I mean, is it like a picture?
It's like
or-
a radio show or a TV show that hasn't been broadcast yet. You're listening to it, so you say it. Or you see it, so you say it. It's like that. It's like when the police came and got me to find Ricky Rodriguez on June 8th. They said they'd been searching for him. I took him right to the silo where the boy was found. They didn't go in until October because they said, we already searched
And
this
well,
area,
did a voice,
and he was there.
Did a voice like a radio broadcast come to you and say?
Well, no, it was
the
more like
body-
little Ricky came and got me and said, here, this is where I'm at.
Monroe,
It's like that.
if you're going to use the scientific method to deduce whether there's any evidence to this, the most famous scientist of all time was Albert Einstein. And he understood the scientific method very well when he says, okay, now this is my theory of relativity. This is my prediction of what we see when we observe this. If we see what my prediction is, my theory is validated. If we do not see it, my theory is falsified. Something has to be potentially falsifiable or proved wrong. These two ladies made a lot of predictions here tonight. The most important thing is when people make predictions is to write down everything they say in detail and then later on compare it to what actually happened.
no.
Now, let me finish, please. Now, if you were to document what these ladies said here tonight, and let's say 70% of it doesn't happen, stuff that's specific enough to be identified. If this doesn't happen, will they say, okay, we're falsified, we're no longer saying,
okay.
no, they would come up with excuses. They would
Wait,
say,
wait,
well,
wait.
the vibrations were wrong,
Wait
whatever.
Wait a minute, Larry. Let's stop it and take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to ask them if they will admit to being wrong or right or whatever.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, right now, the plan is that you've heard the predictions. We'll come back this time next year and play back what they predicted,
Excellent.
ask them to
Good.
come back and
Great.
see what's happening.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay, be right back.
Beautiful babies. Babies born strong and healthy because their moms took care of themselves during pregnancy. If you're expecting, you can help have a beautiful baby right from the start by seeing your doctor regularly. Your baby depends on you to eat right, get enough rest, and most of all, stay away from cigarettes, drugs, and alcohol. To help your baby off to a great start and to receive a free health and coupon book, call the Beautiful Babies Hotline at 1-800-545-2200.
On the next Maury Povich Show, she could never be too rich, too thin, or too beautiful.
The ultimate thing would be to have cheekbones.
She's had 32 plastic surgeries.
It was never enough. Nothing was ever enough.
Women who take plastic surgery too far. Plus, the marriage almost ended when he tried to stop her from gaining weight.
The nagging, it doesn't work. It doesn't help.
What to do when your spouse is packing on the pounds on the next Maury Povich Show.
Monday morning at 9, only on Channel 2.
For 9 years, she played the wealthy Pam Ewing, but the days of Dallas are gone. Now Victoria Principal tells Entertainment Tonight how she's coming back to primetime TV and bringing an Oklahoma accent with her.
I just speak this way all the time. I sound like a fool, but I'm having a great time.
Then, although Dick York is gravely ill, he still offers hope and inspiration to those in need.
I think the pure and simple thing is that people are good.
Here is Inside Story on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday night at 6:30, only on Channel 2.
Listen up. Tuesday, get ready to party with Channel 2, because we're taking you to the hottest night spots in town. Be here at 11:30 to ring in the New Year Chicago style with Channel 2 and the boys of B96. But that's not all. CeCe Peniston and Boys to Men live, plus the hottest hits. Chicago celebrates New Year's Eve Tuesday at 11:30 on Channel 2.
We're back, and we're talking with some psychics and one skeptic about whether this is all good or bad or true or real or whatever. And Larry was asking if Jackie and Linda would admit to being wrong if a year from now when we play back their predictions, only half of them are correct.
I would.
I would too.
I would definitely. I stand behind what I say. I make tapes for my clients, and I give them the tape.
My clients also tape their recordings.
That's right.
And my accuracy with clients say that between 80 and 100% of the things I predict for them happen.
And they tell me 93 to 97.
Yeah. Well, you know, I hear these terms thrown out, 93, 97, 85. Read the National Enquirer every year about the predictions that come out there, and they're about 95% wrong.
That's right, because they adulterate them. You give them
those
a
people
prediction
make
and they
a living off
rewrite it.
psychics the same
Then
way
why
you do.
Then why are governments doing research? Russia especially.
Russia's doing research. Russia had a woman who was doing telekinesis, who was moving objects around magnetically. You know how she was doing it? By having a magnet in her bra.
That's not psychic.
No, it's not. Of course it's not. And they had her.
That's something different.
She had them fooled for months.
Telekinesis
by having a magnet in her bra, moving objects around.
What does that have to do with us?
In order for you to say that there's scientific evidence for it, it would have to be conducted in double-blind conditions within a laboratory.
There's nothing scientific about being psychic.
When the test they've had for psychics.
Yeah, but you can't prove something scientifically if it isn't scientific to begin with.
Right, that's the problem. Any psychics that have been tested,
then
they
why
try
have
to
I
test
heard,
off
why have I
logic.
heard,
You won't read my letter.
Why have I heard psychics and New Age people
wait,
talk
wait,
about...
Wait, time out. Let me referee here for a second. Larry.
Yes.
Okay. Just to be devil's advocate. Would you not agree that there are some things that happen in this universe that defy scientific logic at this point? There are things that we don't understand, that we can't measure scientifically?
Science is a self-correcting discipline.
And science is always wrong.
Would you let me finish, please?
No.
Science is a self-correcting discipline. And scientific knowledge is amassed, and as it's amassed, and theories and new theories come about. No, we don't understand everything yet. That's the whole purpose of science.
Well, neither do you understand it with psychics
has millennia
and
to learn
clairvoyance.
yet. But what I'm saying is to use a scientific method that these women claim that they have these supernatural abilities, there is no scientific evidence for it.
We didn't say supernatural abilities. These are natural abilities.
These are the terms I hear being thrown around by the New Age people and by Shirley MacLaine, and now you're trying to disavow them.
They are natural. We all have them.
I'll tell you something. 15 years ago, Carl Sagan was saying we were going through the Ice Age. I said it was the hothouse effect. Now
no, he didn't say Ice Age. He said it was going to be a nuclear winter in case of an atomic war.
He wasn't
talking
likening
about
it to
no,
the
you're
Ice Age.
Absolutely wrong.
And I said, no, it's the hothouse effect. Now he's
saying
that
has nothing
to
do with what Carl Sagan said. He was talking about nuclear winter in case of an atomic war. Yes, he was. That was the computer studies. There was the computer studies that he did.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Let's get back to
it. It has nothing to do with
he
greenhouse
won't read my letter.
Let me take you back.
He doesn't want evidence.
Yeah, this letter Jackie's referring to, she has a letter from a police commissioner that is thanking you for your services. What case was this?
Case.
Yeah, okay, what
was this? It was the Harmison case. They called me. I never left my office. They called me and they said, we have a missing person.
Well, the Harmison case, where's that?
That was in Michigan.
Okay.
And they said, we have a missing person. I said, no, she's not missing. She is deceased. Then I went on to proceed to tell them she would be covered over. She would be found in the arches. I said Palisades or Palace, and that's where they found the body. I also said that it was done by one of her own family members, or like an adopted, or some type of a son like that, you know, that would be either adopted or foster child, and that's all in there. And it's in the letter. And he thanks me for doing it, knowing I never even left the place. By the way, I also told him that the shopping center was being robbed at the very moment he was calling me.
Okay, now
And it was.
When did police departments start approaching? How recent a development, or how
when they
old
get
is
stuck.
And when have they been doing this?
They do. Usually it is the police officers
Yeah.
themselves more than the departments. They'll come out to Cal Police, Chicago Police. You'll work on a case for the family, or they're stymied with
Well, how
something.
do you get discovered as a psychic?
All right.
Are you
what
sending
happens
out?
is reputation. Your
Right.
reputation.
Recommended.
It's through a lot of years of hard work, and it is your credibility.
Right.
It's your predictions on air. It is the things you've worked with for people. You've read for somebody, things come to pass. You know, a true psychic does not advertise. You'll see nothing with reader or
And we
advisor.
don't call
there
the police
are a lot
departments.
Of shams. We don't call them. They call us.
They call us.
Okay,
Cook County Sheriff's Police called me on the Gacy case.
And what did they say to you?
They asked me if I would be willing to come in and try and help them on the Gacy case. And then I was on, I think it was Channel 26 right after that. And they asked me about the Gacy case. There were 7 bodies at the time. And I said there would be 30 bodies plus 3 more, 33 in total. And that it was not only under the house,
Now, did
but
these
also in
33
the yard.
bodies come to you, Jackie, or how'd you
The
come
number
up with this
33
number?
came right on camera. We were doing a live taping, and that was it.
Right.
So,
and
Well,
same thing.
it's very easy to glibly throw these things
No,
around. I
not-
would have to see
I
the
have the tape.
I would have to see the
I have a tape.
documentation before.
I
would
have
believe
the
it.
I have
I
a
don't
tape
believe
from
it.
a cable
I don't
show
believe it.
in
I have the
1989. And on that show, I predicted the war in the Mideast, 3 powers being involved, a country we had not heard the name of, and I said that there would be water pollution, that there would be chemical warfare, and acts of terrorism. And I said that right on air, and I have
It's
it on
kind of
tape.
hard to miss with predictions like that. There's terrorism
didn't-
all over the world.
Okay, well,
Yes, there is.
It's ridiculous.
okay,
We
well,
know that.
let me
but
ask-
to pinpoint it is something else.
That's like saying
That's
there's,
right.
I prophesied there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Well, it's
All
hard
right.
to
All
hard
right.
to miss with a prophecy
Yeah,
like that, right?
Let me ask a question I'm sure people out there are thinking. If you guys can see these numbers, if they just come to you, then why don't you
Win the lottery.
Win the lottery, right?
I
Exactly.
know that's what you were going to say.
Exactly. Okay,
All
you
right.
read my
Number
mind.
one, I don't get involved with that type of thing because my profession means more to me than that type of stuff. Because I would have everybody coming to me. I was doing.
No, I mean for
Just
yourself.
do it for yourself.
No, all right.
Oh no, not even for myself.
I have a theory.
Not
Because
even
why
for
it is-
myself. I think I would lose my gift, and I think my gift is more important than money.
Right. For me, my reason is
You make money off
there-
your gift all the time by giving
Only
psychic
my
readings
living.
to people.
Only my
Only
living.
your living, but you're still making money off it. They say we can't use our gifts.
Oh, come on,
We
who
can't
works
use
for
our we
nothing?
can't use our gifts, so we're going to
Who
lose
is
our
gonna
gifts if we
pay
try
my
to make
electric
money.
bill
They
and
make
my
money
rent?
constantly off that. Why would they make?
Oh, come on. Do you
want
work
to
for
make a
nothing?
point. Let's hear Linda.
That's not the
Do
point.
you go around working for
That's
nothing?
not the point. The
I'm
point says
asking
you'll
you
lose
to-
your gift if you use it to earn money
No,
on
we
the
didn't
lottery.
say
No,
that.
only if I use it wrongly. And to me, that is wrong.
Well,
That's my own personal
I'm sure there's psychics out there that would
conviction.
feel that that's not wrong, but they don't do that.
That's
Some
up to them.
psychics,
But they
each-
don't
each have their own
succeed
feedback.
on
Each
picking
person-
lottery tickets and
That's
horses,
up to
do
them.
they?
If they want to do
Okay,
they don't
that,
succeed,
let
do
The
them.
they?
reason I feel it's
Why don't
hard-
you win the lottery?
Okay, I feel that I have won the lotto.
I have
Okay?
won it too.
Okay, I have won. All right, but the thing is that it's all of a sudden I'll have a gut feeling, and it may come that day with just a couple numbers. And I've won like pick 4. You know, I
Yeah,
picked
me
the 4
too.
You
numbers
just got
and
done
things.
telling us
Yeah,
that
but
they shouldn't use it
not
for that.
to-
Now you
not
said-
to use
I
it
said
only for
I
that.
didn't do it for reading. I just happen to have a
Right.
feeling, or I go buy a lotto and I know I'm going to have an instant winner. But the thing is, to do 6 numbers, you have lottos in Washington, you have them in Wisconsin, you have them in Illinois, you have them in Florida.
you
You have
can
them
get
all
all
over.
mixed up.
It's hard to get the sequence of numbers in because which lotto are you picking up? It's hard to pinpoint.
That's
Okay?
true.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is. I
Okay.
mean, people assume that we have a gift that you can see from here to here. Like, police will come to me and say, well, Len, you're right. There was a blue van. Can you give us the license number? No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Some murder cases I work on literally will go from the beginning to the end like a movie. I'll see it in vision. I'll see the person, the way the gunshots are, the way the person's body lands. Other things are bits and snatches.
Do you have documentation of all
Yes,
this?
I do.
Why didn't you bring it along with you?
I have it.
I did, but you didn't want to see it.
The point is,
Duality case alone, I just checked channel 2, 5, and
if
7.
psychics had the ability to do this, why are there still hundreds of thousands of
I
people
was on
missing
court.
all over this country,
Sir,
Because they
I was
didn't
on
including
court.
children? Why
I
don't you
was
use your
allowed-
powers to help these poor children that are
was allowed-
lost?
Let them
Yeah.
call us.
How
Let
many
them
how many
please
Why don't you volunteer?
Can you feed the world?
No, listen, I'm saying if psychics in general can do it, if psychics can do it, why aren't you doing more? Why are there still people missing all over the country?
But the thing is,
they're not giving us a chance to say what really needs to be said. If you need help, call us.
Okay.
We won't call you.
We've got to go to a commercial break. What I want you guys to think about as we go to this break is something that's going to happen to Larry in the next year. So the four of us are back together next year, and he can say whether it happened or not. So we'll be right back.
Today, a lot of us are recycling to help Chicago. Educational Assistance Limited is recycling too, but in a different way. I'm Beth Ellers of Guiding Light, here on Channel 2. Companies donate their excess inventory and equipment to EAL. They recycle material businesses don't need into scholarships for needy kids. Have your company call EAL for the facts. Recycle surplus goods into college scholarships and everyone wins. Call Educational Assistance Limited at 708-690-0010.
Come to Arsenio's to send 1991 out in style, because he's hosting a year-end blowout that starts on Monday with Lily Tomlin, Tevin Campbell, and Teresa Russell. Then later in the week, he's got Harrison Ford and Jean-Claude Van Damme, plus Paula Abdul, Ralph Tresvant, and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Oh, and Sam Kinison, Sean Young, Luke Perry, and Richard Grieco. He's sending out the old and ringing in the new, all this week on the Arsenio Hall Show.
Monday night at 11:30, only on Channel 2.
On the next Maury Povich Show, she could never be too rich, too thin, or too beautiful.
The ultimate thing would be to have cheekbones.
She's had 32 plastic surgeries.
It was never enough. Nothing was ever enough.
Women who take plastic surgery too far. Plus, the marriage almost ended when he tried to stop her from gaining weight.
The nagging, it doesn't work. It doesn't help.
What to do when your spouse is packing on the pounds on the next Maury Povich Show.
Monday morning at 9, only on Channel 2.
Hi, I'm Laura Lee Bell of The Young and the Restless. Coping with the stresses of raising children today can be very difficult. Where can you go to share ideas and feelings, learn about child development, and participate in discussion groups? Family Focus, through its many centers, provides these and many other services that help strengthen families with young children. Your investment in Family Focus will help them continue finding ways to deal with the pressing needs of today's families. Call 312-421-5200.
That's it for this week. I want to wish you a happy new year. Thank my guests for joining us. You for watching.
Thank you.
I'm Monroe Anderson.
It was wonderful.
And you were going to give us a prediction. Somebody's going to give us a quick prediction on Larry.
And Larry, go ahead. You can go first.
Okay, one of the things I feel around you is you are going to be in for needing a car alignment. You are going to have some problems around a vehicle. I'm looking at a front end to a back end. You are going to be doing something that you're going to hope for with work that is going to pass you by. Somebody else is going to be given an opportunity. But that may be a little bit out of the year time frame on that.
For over 100 years, Children's Home and Aid Society